Going on, dudes and dudettes? A lot of stuff to update with the Chargers. Going to split it up into more of this being the offensive side in the next video coming out later this week about the defensive stuff. But when it comes to a couple of the stats that they were undefeated in heading into this game before the Patriots, they were pretty good on some stuff. But yes, of course, that all had to come to an end in Foxborough, losing 16-3 to them. And then even like questions after the game to Justin Herbert, said he has confidence in himself eventually to get a playoff win. And he says, yeah, I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet, so it's kind of weird for him to be answering like that. Even in worse losses, he's had better answers. But they're even comparing his first three playoff games to Peyton Manning's, and they're pretty similar percentages and low touchdowns, more interceptions, and 0 wins. So I guess they're saying he still has a chance to turn it around. And they even asked too if Justin Herbert should request a trade. I don't know, just because he's from the upper Northwest area, so if they want to trade for him for Sam Darnold, that's still Washington. I know he's from like Oregon, so I don't know if that works. There's even like a rumor saying that he might stop playing football and become a doctor, go back to school and all this stuff. So I don't know how 100% true that is, but they're asking too, is this the worst offensive line ever for the Chargers? I think they've had some pretty worse ones in the end, but even if you look at the PFF ranks, even when the game started, a lot of their guys are very much at the end, especially like that middle to the right side of all those guys ranked in the NFL. They're at the end, which sucks. So a lot of people are asking Jim Harbaugh at the end of the game if thoughts of bringing back Greg Roman. He said he doesn't know that yet, and he didn't have the answer right now. And I mean, here are a couple answers. His first couple of games for Greg Roman, actually his last 7 playoff games, he's only scored 23 points, 13 points, 17, 17, 12, 12, and now 3, an average of under 14 points. And then even Justin Herbert, they're talking about Greg Roman having a great run game, and Justin Herbert was the one that led them in rushing yards this last game. And even Ladd McConkey was another disappointment in this game. He did not step up in year 2, so probably a sophomore slump. So a lot of people are asking, to fire Greg Roman, fire the offensive line coach, cut a couple of those offensive linemen, draft an interior offensive lineman, sign a couple guys, and all this stuff. And well, they got their wish, because finally it took till Tuesday, but they did fire Greg Roman, the OC, and the offensive line coach, Mike Devlin, as well. So that was a little bit of positive news. Maybe a couple guys to replace him. I forgot to put Brian Daboll in there as a guy to replace him because he was fired so early. Even Mike McDaniel, who was recently let go by the Dolphins, could be an answer. I know Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt have said some both good things, that they should be healthy for next season, so that helps out. They do have a lot of cap space. Bring back a couple of the more important guys like Owe and maybe Tierra Tardin. That's kind of it. Then you kind of just use your 5 draft picks. I know somebody did a mock draft, getting a couple interior offensive linemen to start with, an edge, a tight end, and another interior defensive lineman. So I think that could work out in the end. Once again, heading into these later months, I'll start getting into the mock draft stuff and hopefully be able to shape up his team, and hopefully we'll hear about a new offensive coordinator and offensive line coach at some point.